Welcome to another Rookie Roundtable Monday night call. Thank you guys for joining me here. For those of you guys that have been here, welcome back. And those of you guys that have been here for a whole 2 years, thank you for your constant support and your energies that you bring to this community. And for those of you guys that are new, I see some new names, new faces. Welcome. This is a beautiful, beautiful, amazing community full of people that are just so spectacular, so awesome, so amazing. And being a part of this community, all of that will be drawn out in you too. So that's the goal, and that's my vision and my intention for this call. I'm gonna share some things about mindset, some things that are a little bit deeper than just real estate, and we're gonna talk about real estate. Tonight's session is going to be on multifamily versus syndications versus funds. Okay, so there's a pretty big difference in those two things. And what I always say is when you want to learn something, when you want to learn the game of real estate, learn it at the highest level that you can, right? Because if you learn something at the highest level, the things that you're going to be doing, if you're doing residential flips, residential purchases, if you're raising $50,000, $150,000, if you're around the conversation of 10 million, 50 million, 100 million, something big like that, your mind will expand. And as it expands, you can see the possibility in it for you. And so that's my hope that here on tonight's call, that everybody is here in a way that's setting the intention for yourself that that's what you're going to get. Whenever I start any of these calls, whenever I meet anybody new, my goal is to create a relationship, to make that interaction on some level that after it's done, you believe in the new possibility, that you see something a little bit bigger. And the way that I do that is I'm always looking for a really big vision. I'm growing my vision every single day. And the way that I do that is, how can I include more people? How can I help more people? There is a way in this world that we can generate abundance and fulfillment at the same time. Okay, that is something that is possible. Right now, a lot of times those things are disconnected, right? And this is how the big companies in our world right now works, is that those two things don't go together. And the vision is profit first. When you have large corporations and large funds out there that own and run everything, focusing on profit first, everybody else is at the mercy or will be left behind and burn in the fire, right? Whatever mess they leave behind, and they're okay with it. All right. And so tonight, what we're going to do is I'll do a little bit of an introduction about myself. I'll do an introduction about legends and about this community. Then we'll talk about funds versus syndications, and I'll speak a little bit more into the high level. When I think about investments, when I think about real estate deals that I'm purchasing, I try to look at economics. I want to understand the way that money works. When you're investing into a deal, you can look at the number in a deal. And this is something that we talk about on the underwriting call on Thursdays, is why are you looking at the deals that you're looking at? If it's just for profit, you're basically flipping a coin most of the times. Now, with education, with experience, you're lowering that, your odds are better. But when you don't have a bigger vision, when you don't have people around you that have the big vision, if you have the biggest vision in the room, you're probably going to be in trouble at some point. You will run into something that you don't understand, that you're uncomfortable with, and you have to do it yourself. That is the risky part. When I first got into real estate, I bought my triplex. It was awesome. I made a lot of money. And then once I refinanced the money out of that, I was like, now what? I'm faced with a new challenge. So I went and bought 2 restaurants. Nobody told me to do that. I just thought it was the next thing that I should do. I should acquire some businesses. No mentor, no knowledge, no nothing. Lost my shirt. I lost everything. I lost my house, my car, all of it in that place. So I've been low. I've been up. I've had a lot of money. I've lost it all. Then I've had a lot of money, lost it all. So, and I have a lot of money again. Now, that taught me a lot. It taught me that knowledge and experience cannot be taken away from you. So on this call, focus on gaining something that will change the game for you. And it's all going to be in mindset. What I always share on these calls is something that is big vision. I lead with vision. Actually, I don't know. Vision leads me, really. So vision leads me, and I extend it and share it with my peeps, with my community. So that is all of you. Again, all of you guys that are new, welcome. Welcome to this really cool community. So Nick, you got your hand up. Go ahead, brother. You can ask your question.
Yeah, how's it going, Alex?
How's it going?
Yeah. I always like listening to you. You seem to be a good guy and a straight shooter. And yeah, but I'm following the multifamily, like I'm sure everybody in this chat is. What do you think? I have two questions. What do you think? Because what are they saying right now on multifamily? Is it 20 to 30% loss of value?
Something like that.
20 to 30%. Where do you
On
see
paper.
it going? Where do you see it going? Do you see it going down to 40, 50%?
I love it. Just get right into it. I
I
don't
get
have a
right into
magic
it. Yeah.
ball. I don't
Yeah.
have a magic ball, but I'll tell you right now, the way that you get through it is you don't focus on where it's going to go down to. You focus on penciling a deal, making a deal work, having long-term thinking when you're investing rather than short-term, right? Because a lot of that question comes from short-term. What can I do? How can I make money? How can I capitalize on this now? Right. I do
Fix
think
that.
there's probably going to be more hurt coming, but more hurt means more opportunities.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I know a guy. Okay. He's a famous guy. He is about to default on a $250 million loan.
Mm-hmm.
One of my partners might be able to come in and save him, but
He
it's
didn't
gonna
have
cost
he
him.
didn't have fixed debt.
I don't know what he had, but
Okay.
End of the day, if it can be saved, it's gonna cost him.
Yeah.
It's actually gonna cost him. He may have to give a couple properties over to us for free. Well, not for free, for saving his ass. Okay,
Yeah.
so those are the opportunities that are there. And what it opens up is it opens up a lot of creative ways of thinking. Okay. And the only way you can be creative in thinking is if you understand the picture on a large scale. And I'm going to talk
Yeah.
about that on this call. And hopefully when you see the scale at which I'm talking about, you may be able to see individual players and how they're involved in it and how you can create win-wins in there. All right. It's really important. Being on this call is understanding that this community is about creating win-wins. I have an opportunity to take somebody's deal at their loan, but I don't want to do that. I offered a creative financing. I said, look, I want you to make money. Okay. But you give me principal only. And some of you guys have heard this principal only. You give it to me at this price. You hold it for 2 years, 3 years. He's like, I'll hold it for 10 years. I'm like, okay. We bring the CapEx money, fix it up, lease it up. When we go refinance to buy his deal, we're actually going to get $5-6 million for buying the deal. That's what's available, right? When people are in trouble, this is the time to focus on opportunities rather than the blood that's on the street.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, but do you have because my strategy would be jumping in and trying to find deals when it gets, I wanted to know like because right now they're saying 20 to 30% loss of value. If it goes down to 40 to 50 is what I'm thinking, it will probably go down to around 40 or 50. And
maybe
I'm
I don't
looking
know.
for
I don't have a magic ball, and I wouldn't wait till it hits 40, 50, something like that. People that try to time the market, time the numbers will always miss it.
You would just hop in as soon as you found a deal that cash
it's kind of like what I can compare it to is when I was when I was also in the whole crypto buying coin space, right? Like anything that you buy, this is the stress about it. Anytime that you buy crypto, it moves so much that If it goes up, you're like, shit, I should have bought more. If it goes down, you're like, oh fuck. Either way, you're stressed. Like, why? And I looked at my literally my the app on my phone probably 70 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
70 times a day. I'm looking at this chart. I'm looking at how it's going and how it's doing. Like, it's so dumb. Right.
Yeah,
And
as
that
long
just
as you get
creates way too
fixed
much
debt, as long
stress.
as you get the fixed debt. I mean, people, if you have the fixed debt, you're not going to have a problem, in my opinion, because it's just, you just hold on to it. You fixed debt. There's not really any concern. The fundamentals of it, collecting rent are always going to be the same.
Yeah.
So
So
that's my opinion. But I
fundamentally,
still,
yes, and what you're saying is correct. But I want everybody to look at why. So like 20, 30, 40% discount is probably going to be something like that across the entire nation, right?
mm,
Anywhere. So when you're looking at deals, it's still, why am I looking in this market? It's not just, let me just buy anywhere. Oh, there's a good deal in Texas. Let me go do that one. Oh, there's another good deal in Florida. Let me go do that one. It isn't about just being random. And this is in when you're searching for deals and when you're investing into deals. What are you investing into? Most people look at profit first. And I want to enroll you guys to think more on vision first, on impact first. We invest impact first. How is it going to impact the community? How's it going to impact the environment? How's it going to impact the investors? How's it going to impact the sellers? I'm thinking about all the impact first before I start looking at profitability. Now, profitability is important. I understand that it takes money to move things and make a difference in the world. You need resources.
mm-hmm.
Sustainability comes through the profits too. But if that is a leading driver, then there will be a point where you may compromise yourself for profit.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the thing I want to get across, everybody, that this is why you are seeing these things in the news where people are scamming others. You know, that they're doing things completely out of integrity. I literally was reading an article that says that a bunch of millions of dollars went into this syndication and they didn't even buy the building. They went and bought something else. And the investors thought they had this property and they did not.
Mm-hmm.
That is out of control. Right. And it's
Well,
like, we got to look beyond the profits, because maybe during the pitch deck, it was like, oh, 10% cash on cash, something like whatever. But who's the person that you're investing with? What's their strategy? Do they care about profit first, or they care about, the community? So let me I'll get to more of that stuff, but I do want to do a little bit of an introduction, and then we'll open up for questions and things like that. And then towards the end of this call, we will do networking. So you guys will break out into rooms. I really hope you guys take advantage of that. Networking is the most powerful thing. I networked for the last 2 years, like really hard. And I've met so many amazing people. And some of you guys are here. You know who you are. Actually, all of you guys. But I met one person recently that is going to change the entire game for me. And it took me 2 years of focusing on networking for that to happen. For me to get the credibility, street cred, for me to get to be clear on my vision on what I'm doing, and enroll somebody that is huge. Now I have a family office that is over $4 billion in real estate assets, and multi like $100 billion funds right behind them, and now they're behind me. So like, that was one person. So if you guys network in here, I don't know, somebody's going to introduce you to someone, introduce you to someone, introduce you to someone, and that someone, or maybe any of those people, are going to be the people that change your life.
mm-hmm.
So also another note is, focus on, when you're networking, that either you are going to change somebody's life or they're going to change yours. That requires curiosity, right? Not like oh, what do you know? What do you do? And you start judging, is this person going to help me or not? But focus on the curiosity of how that can happen. Every single person you meet, I don't care if they're a bum on the street, has the potentiality of completely changing your entire life. Every person. All right. So let me do my little PowerPoint first. I haven't done a PowerPoint on my rookie roundtable in a really long time. So I'm pretty proud of what we did today. Nick, thank you very much. So if you guys don't know, Nick is my right hand. He is 17 years old. He's applying for Ivy League colleges, and he's not gonna go. He's doing it for fun. I think that's amazing and that's incredible. You know, JJ's another one. You know, JJ and Nick have been consistent on my uh teen teen call right before this one. So that's literally 30 minutes before. And their mindsets are always growing. They're growing because they're around me, they're around people in here, right? And JJ is probably going to be the first valedictorian in his school to not go to college. And I actually at some point will want JJ to share a really cool story in a second. But let me share what we're going to talk about today. All right, we'll get started here. You can raise your hand at any point to ask questions. Oops. Uh-oh, what did I just do? Oh, okay, never mind.
Click share 10%.
What?
No. Up. Yeah, left. There you
go. Okay. Yep, that's me. My haircut was awesome. I'm definitely taking this picture and going to my barber with it tomorrow. Syndications versus funds, just for you guys to get to know me a little bit. For those of you guys that don't know, 18 years real estate experience, did everything in the residential side, lease options, wholesales, new builds, short-term, long-term, midterm, all the things that you can really think of. I tried in the single family space, and they require a lot of work. Okay, I've worked my butt off. I've done cold calls. I've spent thousands of hours learning. I've been to tons of conferences, bought probably over $250,000 worth of courses and masterminds. All right, and this just a couple accolades, I guess. $10 million that I raised on social media. I'm also the founder of the Legends Equity Group and Mastermind. Eventually, people won't even know who's the founder, and I will remove this, and it's gonna be cool. We're gonna create so many leaders that people don't know who the leader is. That's my goal. So I'm a community builder. I'm a Course in Miracles teacher. For those of you guys that don't know A Course in Miracles is probably one of the most dear to my heart calls that I do throughout the week. It's Sunday and Wednesdays at 7 a.m. I bring spirituality and faith related conversations into our everyday life. How do we integrate those two things together so that we can live a life of deeper purpose and fulfillment and happiness and with peace? I'm a great husband. I really am. I work very hard on my relationship. Sometimes people are like, oh, why do you put this on here? Because it's very important. In the multifamily space, especially when we start, I hear so much of how relationships get left behind, right? Like your significant other, your partner gets left behind because you're so focused on the business, and you use and people, not you, but people use it as an excuse to not show up for their family. All right. And my goal is not only to make real estate accessible for everyone, but for allow everyone to thrive in it. And my ultimate goal is to end world poverty. And I have a path to ending world poverty, and I love to share with you guys here tonight. So that's a little bit about me. And we're gonna go into Nick. Do you have another question? Your hand's up again. Okay. Moving on. So we're going to talk about funds versus syndications today. First, I shared earlier, I want us to look at big picture, understanding economics and how these funds are literally influencing everything in our country. Okay, BlackRock, one of the biggest funds, both these three, Vanguard and BlackRock are the top two. Okay, I don't really know which one's bigger. According to Google, BlackRock is at about $10 trillion in investments. Vanguard's at $8 trillion. State Street's $3 trillion. The value of S&P 500 companies is somewhere around $38 trillion. That means they have $21 trillion of investments and all of the S&P 500 companies is only worth 38 trillion. Like the magnitude of this, I'm going to tell you guys why this is very important. They have changed the entire game. Okay. And the way they change the game is they lower their fees so much that it makes investing in their funds very attractive. All the teacher pensions, the police pensions, and all the different pensions put their money into these funds because it seems like it's a safe play. Technically, it is safe, but at what cost is what I want to share here. Everybody's 401ks, IRAs, 95% of the people have their money not in a self-directed, but in one that is being directed for them. And where does it go? Some kind of Vanguard fund, some kind of BlackRock fund. All right. And these guys are so powerful. Not only do they own, I think it's over 25% of every single company in the S&P 500. And this number is going to keep growing. And they're growing and being unchecked. Why are they unchecked? Because they have so much money to lobby the laws to be favorable for them. They also have all the influence to put people onto the boards of every company, including Exxon, any big company you can think of on the S&P 500. They have leverage to put people on those boards. Now, what happens as they grow? Okay, yes, the investment kind of seems like they can create higher returns because they control these companies. Right? You have Coca-Cola and Pepsi, and they're supposed to be competitors, but if they're owned by the same fund, then there's no point of competing. Pharmaceutical companies owned by the same fund. As they take more control of it, there's less need for them to compete. And what happens is our cost of goods and everything else continues to rise, and it's determined by them. They determine how much it's going to be. And they set the market. This is going to keep growing unless something else happens. Now, there are plenty of funds out there that also recognize this, and probably some of the biggest funds that are kind of going up against them are less than 100 million. Okay, these index funds, because why would anyone invest in those funds when these funds offer much less fees and offer higher returns? So we are technically voting with our money. But the returns of these is tiny compared to what you can do if you took over your own investments. And the top level, the highest level of your investments that you're going to play at is on the fund level. When you understand how to be a fund manager, and we'll talk about that here shortly, and why funds over syndications. All right. Remember, at any point, feel free to raise your hand, chime in, ask questions. This is I like to keep it engaging so people don't fall asleep. Go ahead, Nick.
So what are those big funds, BlackRock, doing right now with the real estate? Are they, because I've heard different things. I don't know what's true. Are they putting money aside to go in big on real estate, predicting like a downfall, or are they getting out of it?
I don't really know. I don't have the answer to it, but I do think that they have money aside ready, right? While the market is volatile, they don't really mess with it, but they are buying all the single family homes. Okay, these funds are buying all the single family homes. At some point, I think I read an article that said by 2030, these funds will own 60% of single family homes. That is crazy, right? I mean, and as a seller, do you offer it to somebody that may or may not close, or a fund that comes in and gives you all cash and 20% above asking? Right. So we have to look at bigger pictures to help us make decisions. This is what I want to continue to share out there about this. When you're making any decisions, it's a bigger picture. You're voting with your money, you're voting with your decisions. All right. So I do believe they are going to do that. And I'll share a little bit more of these funds and stuff in a second here. So everybody here, most people probably have heard of syndications, right? The value of syndications is that you can come together with a group of people to buy a property that you can't otherwise buy by yourself. Awesome concept. I think it's amazing. I think it's so great that everybody is starting to learn this game, that you can actually work together and buy deals. And even though you may not have money, you can still offer value to get in. Yes, awesome. But syndications requires you to find a deal, right? So this is what we're kind of talking about, like deal sourcing, you EMD money. Okay, not EMD. Asset management. You have to do all these things. You have to raise the capital and you have to have somebody that has enough to guarantee a loan. So those are the kind of 5 things that you put together to have a deal happen. Now, I know that when you're going out there, and if I was a seller and somebody said, I'll give you this money for your property, I want to buy it, but what I need to do is get it under contract. What I need to do is have 120 days to close, and I need to raise the money after I get it under contract, and then I can make this deal happen. And hopefully we get approved for the loan along the way. The period is really long, and I know this firsthand because I'm doing it. I dragged the deal out for a whole freaking year to close. Okay, now it's not 100% my fault, but I'm going to own up to that. Why didn't I have a fund going into this? And none of this problem, why didn't I raise the capital before? The problem with trying to raise money before is you need track record. You need to have an awesome vision that people can get behind and say, Alex, I trust you with my money. You go make the investments. That takes time. But again, it's still a team game. I could have brought somebody on board that has that track record, right? Who are some of the big people out there? If I was able to get Vina Jetty, I don't know, Brad Sumrock, somebody, whoever out there to be a part of the fund, I believe we can raise capital before going into deals, right? Ryan Pineda, you get the good names out there. Capital raising is marketing. And that's one of the biggest part of the deal. So a fund removes these things in the syndication. It removes, like if you were funding a fund, like if you're investing into a fund, you don't have to find the deal. You don't have to put the EMD money up. You don't have to manage the asset, and you don't need a principal. All you got to do is really raise the capital for it. If you were funding a fund, right? If you were creating a fund yourself to fund another fund. Now, why funds? Funds make a ton of money on the purchase. Okay. Because you have proof of funds, you have access to more deals. B, you get a better purchase price. If I was selling a $10 million property and someone came to me with a syndication offering me $10,500,000, but they needed, 180 days, and I don't know if they're going to close or not, and I need to off this property. And the fund comes in and says, hey, I'll give you $9 million, close in 20 days. That's $1 million you make on the purchase, right? So better purchase price. You will also get awarded more deals. A fund coming in is way more attractive to a seller than any other process of buying a deal. And it gives you leverage, negotiating powers. You always want to, you want to know where you are at the table, where you are in the negotiating. Like, are you negotiating from a place of weakness or a place of power? That's a really key thing to understand, because it's not a bad thing that you're negotiating from a place of weakness, but you also got to know how you must behave and respond and, to things that are happening when you're negotiating from a place of weakness. With a fund, you will most likely always be negotiating from a place of power, from a position of power. All right. So this is why funds over syndications. And as we grow, we go from, residential to multifamily, syndications, and syndications, you upgrade to funds. Okay. Funds is the highest level. When you're playing at the level of the funds, syndication deals start to look easy. Wholesale deals in single family, all the thing, anything that you can think of doing in single family, I think it's a cakewalk. Like anything that you can think of, buying a single family, I think it's a cakewalk because I've upgraded to multifamily. I understand the game more. More pieces of the puzzle are filled out for me. I see a bigger picture. When you get into funds, it's the same thing. Now all of a sudden syndication is smaller. It's like, why would I do a syndication when I can have a fund that buys 5 deals? Right. So just introducing this concept to you. We go a lot deeper into this. You know, I have our securities attorney. I have a lot of people that are very experienced are now on my team, on my board of advisors for the fund that we're creating right now. And, you know, I'll share with you guys a vision in a second here. But my Legends investment theory is super simple. Impact first. I wrote down so many things about our investment theories, and it just all comes down to impact first. That's the way. Right? So introducing, you know, people all understand funds, but most people don't think that they can do it. Just like syndications at first. We all think syndications are great, but we don't believe or think that we can do it. Until we do, until we're surrounded by this conversation, until somebody is saying it over and over and over to you, you're like, oh yeah, that's easy. All I have to do is get around this person that's doing it. Okay, that's the education side of it. Okay, that's like you learning the game. You walk with somebody that's got it. Okay, so impact first. That's a very simple investment theory. And of course, there will be an investment thesis that talks about what type of returns we're looking for when we go into a deal. And that's what we'll offer, things like that. Now, any questions, any thoughts before I move on to something that's a little bit more for those of you guys that actually want to see what these things look like in picture? Is this a good conversation? Are you guys like engaged in it? Should I go back to syndications or? Yeah, impact. My impact first is community. You know, like if I'm going to be investing into an area, how will I positively impact the tenants that are there, the community that is there? You know, and that way, how do I impact even the environment? Well, you want to think about all the things that you're going to impact before you just go and buy this deal, even if it looks good, because that is how these big funds invest. They invest profit first and control and manipulation first, actually. All right. So fund meaning capital raising, right? Same thing. So fund is basically, and I'll show you guys in the next pictures here. So just hold off on that question, Nagar. Steve, go ahead.
My video keeps going out. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm new to this, so just wanted to a little understanding of what is exactly a syndication.
Yeah. A syndication is when you put a bunch of people's money together to buy a deal. Okay. So it's basically what I've been doing for the last 2 years, which is I'm raising the capital, I'm putting the team together. Who's got the expertise? Who's got the net worth to be able to sign on to the loan? It's a team game that we put together in order to buy a deal that I can't do on my own. And my thinking, actually, the way that I think, my mindset is, if I can do it on my own, I don't want to do it. I want to do something with more people. Because those relationships, each deal gives me the opportunity to form and deepen a relationship. That relationship opens a door. That relationship opens another door. Right? It's very focused on relationship first. All right, Steve. So syndications is people coming together, buying a deal. There's lots of regulations and stuff. I'll show you guys in the next slide. Go ahead, Nick.
And by fund, you mean just like a joint account where you have all your money pretty much ready in an account to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So having the money first, you know,
Yeah.
having an investment thesis, it's basically like syndications, but put it like upside down on its head, right? In terms of capital.
I mean, right now you could put a money in an account where you're getting 5%, 6% interest, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
Money.
that's just where you hold your money, right? But I'm talking about a fund that is going to do something, an investment
Okay.
fund.
But what my question is, what kind of fund are you putting into like a bank account, the fund, or where is it sitting?
Yeah, you put it into a bank account, or you put it
Okay.
into so the there are registered investment advisors that actually have FDIC protected accounts that generate 4, 5, 6% cash on your deal. And you can actually, the important thing is when you put in those things, how fast can you access the funds, right? How fast can you access your money? So the goal is like we need to be able to access it in 2 or 3 days. We want those returns while the money is sitting, and we want to be able to access those money in 2 or 3 days. You can't do that when you just have your normal your own money, right? If I only got $20,000, I can't go and make that type of demand. But if I come in with $20 million, I can. This is the power of scale and the power of putting things together. All right, so
I got one more question.
yeah, go ahead.
What is EMD?
So this is actually EMD. This is earnest money deposit, not END.
Okay.
It's the money that you have to put down as a deposit when you get a deal under contract. Okay, so like for example, if somebody's buying my house right here, they're gonna have to put like probably an EMD money of like $30,000. Right, so that's a deposit. After like a certain period of time, that money becomes hard, and they can't, even if they don't close the deal, this EMD money is mine. It's an assurance to the seller. What are you doing? What? Oh, okay. So let me show you guys. So you guys are asking what a syndication is. This is the structure of a syndication, right? So, a syndication technically is a fund as well, but it's you raise the capital kind of afterwards, right? After you find a deal. All right. So a fund or a syndication, let's call this is a syndication. The syndication is really an LLC that is buying an asset. The asset is owned by the LLC. That means all the investors are actually investing as an owner of this LLC. It's actually secure. It's almost like securities. You're buying a share of the LLC, and the LLC is purchasing the asset. All right. Now, on one end, you have your limited partners that are your investors. They typically are silent. Right. There's all sorts of different ways to create the partnership, but a limited partner is usually silent, and they bring the capital, majority of the capital to the deal, and they come in as one angle of your LLC. And what you have on the other side is called your general partners or your managing members, which has a managing LLC, a manager's LLC that has your GP members. Okay, this is typically how people structure it. And then you have affiliate services. You can pay for marketing and all sorts of things that you pull back. You can raise money out of. So what can you raise out of? You can raise any money that you put down before the deal. So like, let's say you put the EMD money down, you can raise that back out. Let's say you paid for marketing services, you can raise that back out. If you paid for even broker dealers are ones that charge you 1 to 2% for every dollar that they bring in. They have to be legal. Okay, they have to have certifications for that to be a broker dealer. So you can raise that money out. Anything that is an expense, you could technically raise it out. I would go as far as, you really can do anything with this. So this is up to the general partners to what they want to do with this. Now, being transparent, this is the key here, right? When you're working with somebody, how transparent is this? A lot of people don't show all of this. Okay. So this is your typical syndication that you see out there right now, how it's structured. Okay, does anybody have any questions about this? So what this may look like is your limited partners bring 100% of the capital, but they own 70 to 80% of this deal. And because you're running it, you own 20 to 30%. All right, so this is how this could be a whole team. And you can pay sweat equity to do this. You could be the one that's going to check up on the property every day. You could be the one running investor relations and all sorts of stuff. And we teach this in our program, and everybody in our group understands this. Okay, this is going to be the basic of what you're going to learn and understand. So we go much deeper into this, but just understand that this is kind of what it looks like. All right. Now, a fund, really, if you have this is how it actually should be set up. This is how most people set it up. And I set it up like this too. No, it's not wrong, illegal, anything, but this is less protection. Okay, for the managing partners. So I'm going to show you this is how you want to set it up. Okay, and this is, of course, get legal advice. I am not an attorney or anything, but this is a securities attorney. We work a lot with them, and I ask them to put these things together so we understand. So same exact thing, right? You have this is actually your fund. Your fund itself is the sole member of your SPE, which is your special purpose entity LLC that buys the LLC or buys the asset. Okay, there's one layer right here. You see this? There's another layer. Your LPs, your limited partners, come in as that 70, 80% investors, bring some money in. Your general partners get the 20, 30, and they come into here. Okay, and your managing members are here. This is all separate. These are all considered your investors, owners of the deal. Now, on the other side, you're going to create your manager LLC. And these are your managing members, which is completely protected from here. So you could technically Alex could be right here owning a share. Okay, this is, I guess we would consider this a holdings company. It doesn't do anything. You just own the asset. This side is also Alex that is running and operating the deal. If something ever happens and this side gets sued, all of this is still protected. Does that make sense? And then the same thing here. You have your affiliate services, all of that other stuff. And the managing LLC is the managing member of both the LLC on top and the special purpose entity LLC. This is very high level, and I wanted to show you guys this just because there are a lot of different things. And as you go in this game, you want to learn these things because there's people that are getting in trouble doing this. There's people that are, you want to be as protected as you can. Okay, skimping out on education will cost dearly later. Not using a securities attorney will cost you dearly later. There are a lot of other things that happens that a securities attorney is going to do for you. Also, make sure it's a reputable securities attorney. Okay. Our securities attorney, we like so much that I'm bringing them on as a general partner of my fund. They are not just, I am not a client. They are partners with us in our fund because if our asses get in trouble, their entire firm's ass is on the line. Okay, and I'm going to bring a ton of businesses to them. Okay, so technically a syndication is a fund too. Understand, but it's just done a little bit differently. Now, a fund that raises the capital first, let's say you've graduated to a fund that is going to be a larger fund. So people are investing into your investment thesis first and not the deal that you found after. Oh, go ahead, John.
Would if you did a self-management on a property, would that be considered affiliate services?
Yes. So that will be property management.
Okay.
Right? So you're going to be paying from the earnings of your property, your asset. Okay, that will go like somewhere down here. Your affiliate services is really as you're kind of running the deal, what you're going to be paying out from this side. It's not part of your P&L bottom line. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, Steve, you got another question?
No, I didn't realize my hand was still up. I did earlier, but then when you said that this is advanced, I was like, okay, I need to just look at more stuff.
It's okay that this goes over your head right now.
Yeah.
I want you guys just to know, like, begin to see this picture. It's kind of like, it's still blurry, but it's there. If you know it's there, then you know the direction that you got to go because you know where your blind spot is. Right? So, okay. Here is how a fund is built. Okay, a fund that has multiple deals. You still same thing. Have your investors, LPs come in here. You have your managing partners coming here. Okay, and funds, these types of funds are 506c really, so they're accredited investors only if you're investing into things like this. Okay, well, I guess smaller funds you could make 506b, but that's just going to be, you're not going to do multi deals probably. Unless, actually, you know what? I take that back again. Unless these are all single families, right? You can also create a fund to buy 5, 10, 6, but 5, 10, 20 single family assets. All right, so this is one way to do it. What most people try to do is they try to buy it under their own name or their own credit. And that's it. They won't give you 10 at max. At 10, you are maxed out. You're probably maxed out because they know you can't handle 10. Once you get to 10, if you're doing it the way that they're giving you per property like that, they're like, yeah, you're going to start failing. All right, so they give you 10. All right, so same exact setup, right? Everything looks basically the same, except you have multiple special purchase. These are called special purchase vehicles. Okay. Oh, what happened here? I know this is a lot. You know, I'm really excited about what we're creating. So I want to share with you guys the vision. Of course, this will go much deeper. All right. So what it does is you have your fund that invests into this vehicle that purchases an asset. Then you got this fund purchasing another vehicle that buys another asset. And this is all funds that are raised. You could be raising it and you could be deploying it at the same time. But your thesis, let's say I'm going to be investing in Class C properties. There are properties that are kind of older and need renovations and things like that. In less desirable neighborhoods sometimes. Age of the building is older. Our play here is to value add. We're going to renovate them, increase the rents. That's our play. So people are investing into that fund thesis. Okay, you have to stick with your fund thesis has to be as specific as you can. Because anything you do outside of your fund thesis, what ends up happening is your investors can sue you. And you don't want to deal with that. And this is also why you want your company here, the managing LLC, to be isolated from everything else that's going on here. Okay. All right. Same exact thing. Clear? Steve, go ahead.
Okay. What is a specialty purpose vehicle? Is that what you said?
Yeah. So basically, it's just another separate LLC that is going to own each asset separately. All right. So let's say this asset gets in trouble and something happens here. You're protected because this doesn't affect this one and this
right.
asset.
Oh, that's ingenious. Thank you.
This is all about protection here.
Yes.
Okay. You want to know this before you go into doing all the things, because if you don't and you just have this buying like 5 different assets, what ends up happening is one thing happens here, this gets sued, all the other properties are in jeopardy. Okay, you don't have this and your GPs is just over here directly. This gets sued, GP memberships, your holding, your equity also is affected. Okay. So it's all about protection. It's all about setting up the structure. What's my next? Okay. So my vision, right? We talked a little bit earlier about the big funds out there. My vision is not to challenge those funds, but to inspire and influence those funds to create win-wins, to think impact first, environmental, societal, all the impacts first. And the way that we're going to do it is we're going to create funds. And my goal is to make everyone in my community a fund manager. It is going to be cool to say when you go and meet new people that I'm a fund manager, right? This is what we invest in. I take away all the obstacles. Remember, all the obstacles are this. These are all your obstacles. If you can go in and learn at the highest level, removing all of these obstacles, which are really lowering your risk, right? But of course, you have to find the right vision, the right team that you're going to invest into. And I would like that team to be us. Okay, and I'll share my vision, okay, and what we're doing here in a second, and how you can be a part of it. My invitation is for everyone to be a part of it. And this is the Legends vision. Okay. So, real estate fund, number one, debt fund, venture fund. This is what I believe as the triple threat. Okay. Debt funds. Everyone knows what debt funds are. You fund debt. You're the one that goes, when you're buying a property, you're saying, I need I need money, right, to do a flip or to do whatever. These are the funds. We have our criteria and how we're going to do it. I will bring in an expert in this space that will, and many, the great thing about these funds is you will have many heads of board of advisors in there, right? You will bring the best of the best to make this successful. And our venture fund is investing into businesses, acquisitions of businesses and startups. Those have the highest cash flow / potential highest returns. Okay. Debt funds are just strictly cash flow. And real estate is a combination of these. It's got the best tax advantages. Okay. It's got it's got cash flow, and it's got appreciation, and it's solid. It's something that you can touch, right? It's everyone calls multifamily actually the safest investment that you can make. It's safe. It's the lowest risk. Now people make it more risky, right? Okay, so what it's going to look like, of course, right now we're starting here on the Tony Hsieh Legacy Fund. What is the Tony Hsieh Legacy Fund? We are carrying forth Tony Hsieh's legacy of the happiness movement. He owned $350 million of real estate in 2012 in the downtown Fremont area of Las Vegas. I believe that the Las Vegas market is the hottest market in the entire country. Okay. And, people can think otherwise, but there's no other cities in the entire country that have more people migrating to it. Okay. The number one, and the most amount of things happening in one place. Okay, I see people saying, oh, Ford is going to put their plant here and Tesla is going to put their battery plant here. That's why this is going to be great. Well, we have entire industries coming into Las Vegas, not just a company, but entire industries, real estate, the film industry, entertainment industry, sports industry, tech industry. It's all coming into the one place. So I think Las Vegas is the hottest number one. Now, this is a downtown area. 26 million people visit this area a year. And it's an entire blank canvas. Hey, the vision is so big that we can build, we can really change the entire downtown. I don't know anywhere else that's hot that has a blank canvas for you to do something. Now, this family, the estate, Tony Hsieh passed away in 2020 or 2019, right before COVID. And he built some really cool things. He focused on building community there. And when he passed, it was really sad. Right? He touched and changed so many people's lives. It's all about impact. If you guys want to know about this vision, simply pick up Delivering Happiness. It's his book. Read it and see what this is all about, what we're creating. So we're creating a Vegas debt fund, a Vegas venture fund, and a Vegas real estate fund. This fund is going to be 100 million. My goal is to have my entire community first become fund managers that funds this fund. Okay. We will build your fund for you. We will create the thesis for you. We will create the pitch deck for you, because you're just going to be an extension of what we're doing. You get enrolled into the vision and you enroll other people into the vision. And the only thing that you have to do is raise capital and be investor relations, which is be the investor relations to your investors, and you collect management fees and you get paid. Right. So now you're a fund manager. Eventually what's going to happen is there's going to be a Legends Equity Fund to fund. This is our main fund that we are building to be up there with the big dogs, with the Vanguards and the Blackstones and the what was it? Hold on. This always kills me. The State Street. Okay. Oh, so this is our goal, is to build this that invests into these three. There's going to be multiple real estate funds. There's going to be 20, 30, 40, 50. I don't know. Same thing with debt funds. Same thing with venture funds. There will be fund of funds that invest into them directly, and there will be fund of funds that invest into Legends Equity Fund that is going to be diverse into these things. Okay, eventually there may be, you know, the index type of play, but I think that this triple threat, I believe, is going to be the thesis of our entire fund and vision. All right, so imagine 10,000 people raising $1 million a person, a fund. 100,000. Not only will we have the funds to be considered the big boys, and we will have influence in the economy, but also we will have the people behind it, right? And it's gonna be awesome. So if you're interested in that conversation and being a part of this vision, just scan this QR code here, and we're gonna be sending out an email to share how you can be a part of it. Okay, I'll share right now. It's gonna be somewhere around 50K to start this. You will have your fund of funds built for you. You will be on an elite vision creation call weekly, which is continue to help you, you know, any questions you have on this side. And there will be ongoing education that we pay our securities attorneys to come on to be available for you. You're also going to get all anything that I teach, and all our vaults and stuff about multifamily will be included in that. And you will also be able to join Jeffrey Hazlett's C-suite network, which is CEOs, CFOs, and founders that have exited big companies. So I want, you know, me and Jeffrey are creating a partnership to bring our communities together. He's got the really big guys. He's got the guys that if you meet and you can create a relationship with, it can change your whole life. Okay, so, but to even talk and be at the same table with them, right? To negotiate and talk at the same level, you need to have a big vision. And this is a shared vision. Okay, this is a shared vision, and it's enough to inspire anybody. Again, the entire goal is to end world poverty. Okay, I believe that when we do something this big, we have the potential and the influence to be able to dictate where people are going to be putting their funds, these big companies that make too much money, / even the government, to help end world poverty. There is no reason why there should be world hunger. There's no reason that should exist in our world. All right, so that comes from greed, that comes from the wrong thinking. That isn't about how we help our brothers, how we help our sisters, how we help people in the world. And so this is the vision. That's the size of the vision. It isn't about one deal. Okay, so just wanted to share that. The last thing is November 15th. Coralie is a dear sister of mine. Her and I are running a 8-week program called the Clarity Catalyst. It is an awesome 8-week program that gets you fired up into your creativity. I think from creativity comes passion, comes fire, comes excitement. And this course changed my life when I took it. And it changes my life each time that I teach it. So it's going to start November 15th. Only 12 people. We can only take 12 people. Only 12 people can join. Okay, this is not a course that I can teach the masses. Because of the interaction that happens in there, we really can only have like 12 to 15 people. The last one, we had so many people sign up. We did take like 16, and it was, you know, it was still amazing, but just time was too long in certain things. So we really are only going to be taking 12, and we already have a handful of people. So I do hope people join on this. This is something that is very, you know, special to me too. And when people join this, you know, we kind of speak the same language, and we're part of a Clarity Catalyst tribe. So yeah, this is kind of how I'm always inviting people to come towards the inner circle of the things that I do. All right. So, all right, that's it. That's all for that part for my presentation. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it and you guys learned something. questions, comments about what I've shared? Thoughts? How's everyone feeling?
I think like that vision is amazing. And for me, just thinking about doing something at that scale is opening possibilities for me in my head about everything else.
Mm-hmm. Just the thought of it. See, surrounding yourself by this conversation, I don't care if you guys do it or not, but be around this conversation, right? Because as you're around this conversation, and when I start to bring in my resources and the people that are really helping me take it to the next level, it just all becomes so possible. And if it's possible in your mind, it's possible outside. And it's all a team game. It's not that you can't do it. It's just you haven't been around the right conversation and you don't know the right people. Or you don't have the right, you might have the right people in your life already, but you just don't have a vision that you're confident enough to share in such a way that you're like, let's go. Right? That you're so confident. A vision of, you know, I don't know, just doing a 9-to-5 job and things like that. That is not very inspiring. But something like this can inspire. And I hope everybody, you know, gets closer and surrounds yourself with this conversation and join and bring more people to this vision. Right? Because what it's going to look like is it's not one person coming up with 50 grand to do this. Come with a team. Come with an entire team. And the cool thing is part of that tuition that you put in on your raise, you raise that back out. Think about being a part of this and then really, you know, being able to bring your recoup your money. You're now way ahead of the game. Just like any investment, how fast can I get my investments out? How fast can I be at the infinite returns? All right. Go ahead, Fraser.
So how do I sign up for the Clarity Catalyst?
Oh, I just I had a link right there. Hang on.
Hmm.
So anybody can scan this. Where is it?
Oh, maybe that's why I don't know how to scan it.
Okay, if you're on your phone. So I mean you're gonna Nick, do you have the link to this? You can just put in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a course that has changed my life. So I would love to share with more people.
And also I would I'd love to be a part of the fund thing. That sounds amazing. I think you are on the right track with everything that you said.
Awesome. Yeah. So, you know, figure out your team, right? This is the whole thing. It's like you gotta put your team together. And we'll if you guys have, you know, Nick, also put the link to the sheet for the
Yeah, I
fund,
did.
the people that are interested in that. Okay. So if
Yeah,
you're
I'll put it
interested in
again.
that, like the next conversation is what do you need to put together to make this happen for you? Right? Don't think, oh my God, it's gonna cost me money, I'm out. How do you do it? How do you become a part of it? That's the question you should be asking. Or it's just like, nope, the vision sucks. I have no interest. Cool. You know, we can do a lot more things together still. Right. But if you want to be a part of this, like there's a lot of people that are going to be backing this. And all of those resources also open up to everyone. And, you know, typically I don't go on to my calls and start like pitching and selling things. I never do that. But I really believe, and I'm very clear on what I get to do moving forward. So these calls on Mondays is about who's going to be joining this community, who's going to be doing something, who's going to be sharing this vision and collaborating and co-creating. Everyone that comes in, you're going to come in not just with money, but you're going to come in with your own ideas and your own vision. And that vision will only help this one grow. And I need it. Okay. I need people's vision. Every single person that has come on board to what we're doing here has helped me see a bigger picture. And by doing that, you feel more involved or feel more ownership to the community, to the fund. I think everybody's looking for a place that they really can belong. And I hope that this vision and this community is the place for all of you. All right, Steve, you have a question again? Thank you also for
Yes.
asking a lot of questions.
Okay, yeah, I was hoping it wasn't too much, but
No. It's never too much, guys.
so, and I hate to backtrack, right? I just wanted to take a second so I could get those links, but you said
It's in the
something
chat.
about yes, correct. You said something about the there was a step where you were in, you said mentioned something about like with the intention to raise rents, right? Is that always the intention, like we're doing deals, like is that something that we would always seek to do going in?
Well, if you offer value, the rent raise is valid.
Got
Right?
it.
If I said, dude, Steve, if you got no dishwasher or no washer dryer, and I'm like, I'll put those in for you. It's gonna cost me, $2,000 to do. Will you pay, $100 a month more for your rent?
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Right. So it's a win-win conversation. It isn't just, oh, because it's below market rents, I'm just gonna come in and just jack it up. All right, because I'm care about money. I've been taught by everyone in every single mastermind to not associate with the tenants. Okay. I've been taught by nobody's taught this. What I showed tonight, I've paid hundreds of thousands of dollars in masterminds and mentorships, went to all sorts of trainings and conferences. Never once was that neither of those things showed. Right. So like, this is like free. Take it.
Yes.
I don't
Thank you.
believe it. I don't believe that education needs to be charged. It should be free out there. However, for a lot of people, and McGenna knows, McGenna goes to conferences all the time too. Right? Like, and those of you guys that do go to conferences, do you guys see this posted up on any of the screens or anything? All conferences are designed to have you join something and have upsell. And inside the course, inside the mastermind, I don't get shit. I pay $30,000 a month for a mastermind that literally doesn't give me anything. Okay, here's a PDF file. Here's a digital file of something. And then just come and check out this call once a week.
Right.
And there's some of them that the leader isn't even, the person that enrolled you into it isn't even there ever. Right? So like, I do not want to have anything like that. I want to have something that gives you something to participate in. Other masterminds also, and I'm not shitting on any masterminds for, I'm just saying my experience. Like, I am eternally grateful for the ones that I joined. But I took action in them. 90% of the other people that also paid the same amount of money did not take the actions that I took, because I was so focused on getting value myself. I wasn't focused on what value are you providing me. But now I'm just saying what value is actually provided face value. You don't get a chance to participate in any deals with them. Right? They're not bringing you onto any deals, giving you anything like that. I'm always thinking about, how do I include more people and give an opportunity and a place to actually get hands-on experience. I am a mentor, teacher, coach at heart. And that's what I think. All right. So, okay, cool.
I've got one more question, if I can.
Yeah, you can.
So just to get this correct. So what would, say, a person like myself who's just coming into this, what could a guy like me at this stage possibly do, not knowing the investors, not knowing like these things? Should I first wait and go and traverse all of the information that's out there before I even consider doing something like this? Or should I be trying to do this along the way somehow to find, like, basically get in where I fit in, and what might that look like?
Okay, that's a good question. So I'm gonna give you two answers. One from a perspective of somebody that's brand new. Okay, somebody that's brand new, get the information that you need, learn what you need to learn to give you the confidence to move forward. However, second answer to that is confidence to move forward does not require you to know anything. Confidence is a choice, as a muscle that you train. Okay. Knowing what I know now, if I was in your place, what I would do is, shit, I don't know anything about this industry, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to find someone that does, at least knows more than me. If I got no money, who's got money? Right? If I got no influence, I don't know how to raise any capital. Who knows how to raise some capital? Bam, put it together. Hey, let's go do this thing. I'll do any legwork, sweat equity for my, and I will carry my weight. Right? You know, like that is the level of thinking that everyone's got to think. Not like, when should I do it, but how can I do it now? Opportunities don't just come like every day. Well, it does come every day, but you have to choose it. Right? You have to choose it, but every time you delay, the opportunity is gone. Now you have another opportunity. Next Monday, the opportunity will still be there maybe, but it might look different. I don't know. Right? So it's always right now, what type of value can you offer and what type of value can you get from it? And then what can you do to make it happen? Who do I need? It's partnership games. All right. So that's my two answers. If I was completely brand new, didn't have the experience I have now, don't know anything, I probably would tread very carefully. If I went into the oil and gas business, well, because I have the experience I have, I would still do the exact same thing. I'd just find an expert, find somebody that knows stuff, talk to a bunch of people. Hey, I need guidance. Just hold my hand. I can raise. I'm strong at capital raising. I have a community. I can, I tell good stories. This is what I'm bringing to the table, right? If you guys need somebody to pitch your deals, I'll learn it real quick and I'll start pitching. Like, it's the value that you bring. And I know McGenna is about to drop some golden nuggets here, but John had his hand up first. So John, go ahead first.
Oh, thank you. Just wanted to ask on the Legends Vision, you had 3 listed: real estate, debt, and venture.
Huh?
I just was curious what the debt would look like.
Yeah. So debt would be like what type of deals we're funding, right? There will be different percentages. Like, we might go into some gap fundings, we might go into some bridge fundings, we might go into some hard money fundings for wholesale, for single family, stuff like that. What is our criteria? Obviously, we'll share like what is our investment strategies in those. We might be doing construction loans, right? We might be doing new development versus rehab. We might be providing debt for also venture, right? So debt could be on all different sides.
So we'd be offering these kind of loans, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Nice.
there will be a system, right? So when you're going to get a hard money loan,
Yeah.
those are all funds that came from a group or from a couple families, and they put it together. And what they do is they leverage up. They come together, they got $100 million, they leverage up to 300-400. Then they take that and they loan it. Right. So if they're leverage up, and because they're 100 million, 200 million, they're leverage up, they might have much lower interest rates that they can take from. And then they loan it to you at 10, 12, 13%. Right. So those are cash flow plays that are great. And this is why I think that this triple threat is going to be really great for all of us.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, this is the vision right now, right? I don't know if with each of you guys coming on board and helping out and sharing your visions and your ideas and your resources, I don't know, we might be funding other things at some point. Another fund might start. All right. All right, McGenna, go ahead. Talk to me.
Thank you. I'm not camera presentable.
Oh, stop it.
What a great excuse. I apologize for requesting to join the room a few times. Each time I get a phone call, the volume gets lower, so I have to exit and come back. But just wanted to quickly say hello to you and everyone here, and congratulate you not only on the vision, but on the generosity of sharing the vision, because there are many people out there who are very stingy with the information they, of course, invest to receive. It's not like it's free for the most part, but I just want to encourage everyone here that yes, we have invested 6 figures to be where we're at today, and it's only the beginning. So for all of you who are here, you are at a fast track space because you are learning what not to do, versus you trying it on your own and failing forward. You are definitely winning forward. You are in the right ecosystem, and at the same time, please continue to show up to those networking events, because if I didn't show up, I would not have met Alex, and vice versa. A lot of those mentors out there go to work every day. So we have the opportunity to network with one another. But when it comes to signing up for the right mentorships, the right masterminds, go back to your mentors, to the Alexes of the world, and find out, do some due diligence. Don't just jump because you have this fear of missing out syndrome, and then you afterwards. Just wanted to share that, Alex, because I feel it's very important that we continue to network, but not necessarily sign up for every single mastermind that's out there and do due diligences. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Magana. Okay, so what we're gonna do here now is we're gonna break you guys out into small groups so you guys can network with each other, share what you learn here, share about yourself. Okay, I'm gonna give 15 minutes so you guys will have time to actually share, but give everybody a chance to share. Okay, and if you're somebody that's shyer and don't share, just do it. All right, this is a great opportunity to meet somebody new. This is a great opportunity perhaps to help find your partners in the being a fund manager. Okay, and we'll talk more about that. Like, we're gonna have a separate Zoom call that goes straight into all the things, more details about it. And this is a great part. And before we do that, I want JJ to share something. So JJ, I know I had asked you to share this really cool thing, and I want you, and this is also an acknowledgement to this community. Okay, this is an acknowledgement to this community because a lot of people contributed to this. And go ahead, JJ. I'll let you share.
Yeah, about a month ago, my teacher or my school wanted to raise money for a fundraiser, so they had each of the classes set goals to raise money. And I set the goal for my class because I'm the class president. They voted me the class president. I'm the coolest. So I said, let's do 2,500 or something like that. And then my teacher said, what the heck, 2,500? Are you insane, dude? The most ever raised by a kid has been the most ever raised by a class has been 500. You're insane. And she said, let's make our goal 400, which really doesn't make sense just if you think about it generally, but I digress. I went home and I was like, okay, I'm gonna raise $10,000 by myself. And or I didn't say by myself, but that's kind of what happened. So I got my friends together and we had weekly Discord calls. Like, I think it was like 2 times a week. We had Discord calls and we just grinded raising money, just as much as we could. And we raised $2,200 for the school within the month. We didn't if we put 100% of our time towards it, we would probably raised all the money, but I'm pretty busy dude. So we raised $2,200, which is 4x the previous record ever raised by, a class, much less me alone, because I raised I think I raised 2,000 of the 2,200. So we brought it in, and I'm just gonna tell you guys, we were the class that was looked down upon because it was all dudes, and they were like, oh, you make trouble, whatever. And then the class above us was full of all girls, so they're the class that was like, oh, I love that class, whatever. And we come to class that day with $2,000 check, and all of a sudden we're the best class in the school. And then 2 weeks down the road, they're not giving us our quarterly tests or anything because we're the best class. And I'm like, is that how much money speaks? We were the worst class, and then now we went to the best class. The whole school raised $3,000. We raised 2,200 of that. I raised 2,000 of that. And the principal came and shook my hand after it was all done, which was pretty funny. So yeah, That's pretty much what we did.
Yeah, and you know, the part of this story is that this is the kind of the issue with our society is in school when you get shut down by your teachers, when you get shut down by your parents, when you get shut down by your peers, like some people take this and limit the rest of their lives with, right? But JJ is in a whole different space. He's in a conversation that is not like anyone else in his school, not even like the teachers, right? So he's like $400, right? Like Alex and all these guys are over here talking about millions of dollars in real estate and all this. I can raise this money, right? Like the money itself is relative, right? His idea of how much he can raise was much, much greater. So not only did he, get a chance to prove that that's not the case to all the students, everyone's life has potential to be completely changed by this situation, this scenario here, right? Especially the teacher. The teacher's whole entire paradigm probably shifted, right? That was possible for this kid. And why? Because I bet there is nobody else in JJ's school that is on these Zoom calls every day, every week. That's the power and that's the difference. And if he can make a difference, and if that can be shown right there tangibly for a 17-year-old kid, there's no reason for the rest of us. Okay, the rest of us, any limitations you have, any doubts and anything that you have, shift it. Change it to a new possibility. All right. So, okay, we're going to let you guys break out into rooms, share your visions, connect with each other, get to know each other on a deeper level, not like who's your favorite football team, but just go deeper. All right. And this is an opportunity to do so. Oh, here we go. See you guys later. People are like, no, don't want to meet anyone. Meet each other. Okay. And even if you met people here before, like there's always another level to go. All right, so I hope you guys take advantage of this. This is probably one of the best parts of this call, and it's for you guys. All right, Nick, break them out. Rooms of 6, and
Alrighty. Go.
see you guys in 15 minutes.
Don't leave your breakout buddies hanging. Join the room. Bye recording.